CETV, we're joined today by Stephen Fry, actor, comedian, presenter and the president of Mind, a mental health charity. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for beginning the sentence with so.
It's
very 21st century. And I will begin my answer with so, because that's the other thing people do.
Okay. To get started, according to Mind, members of the LGBT+ community may be at higher risk of experiencing mental health issues. So could you tell us a bit about that intersection between being LGBT and mental health?
Yeah, I can address what you might call pompously I might call pompously the epidemiology of it. It is a fact, it's an unquestioned fact that there seem to be higher instances of mental health disorders across the spectrum, including self-harm and actual categorizable, diagnosable disorders like bipolar disorder, schizoaffective disorder, anxiety disorders, personality disorders even, seem to be higher amongst the young LGBTQI community than amongst the straight and cisgendered and normal community, however one wants to put it. That one can accept as a fact. Now, if you're asking me to interpret it and say why it is, well, your guess is as good as mine. But I think the important thing is it's obviously addressed and understood. We can imagine that it's pressure, it's peer pressure, it's pressure to conform, that despite the huge advances that have been made in my lifetime in terms of acceptance of other sexuality and gender norms, there is still in the wider world, the world that votes, the world that reads tabloid newspapers, which is frankly the majority of our country. It is not us in our bubble, as we like to call it these days. There is much less acceptance than we like to think. And certainly amongst the young, there is as great a desire to conform to norms as ever there was. The norms is represented in sport and television, and particularly just friends in the playground. And I suppose that's made more extreme, my guess is, and actually not exactly unique for me to say this, by social media and the pressures, the very particular new pressures that those exert on young minds trying to discover their identities.
Studies seem to show that men may be less likely to seek professional help for their mental health. So what more do you think we can do to help men with their mental health?
It's a very odd thing. I have a theory about this. I call my genital wart theory. And that is it's a peculiar counterintuitive fact that if you asked a man, if a man was worried because he had a genital wart, he wouldn't show it to his best friend. He'd say, "Hey, Tom, have a look at my genital wart." Or his mother, "Mum, look at my genital wart." You just wouldn't do that. But you would show it to a stranger, i.e. a doctor. And what is true of the genital wart is even more true, and something even more embarrassing than a genital wart, which is something wrong with your sense of yourself, your feelings, your moods, you know, something that you feel separates you from everyone else. The ability to share that. Now, the Heads Together campaign that the Princes famously got behind, which I did something for as well, I think is very good, and it is important that people talk, but it is, as I say, this counterintuitive truth. It's not going to be to your friends and family necessarily that you open up. So many times you hear stories of people who come close to suicide or extreme self-harm or running away, and their families and friends say, "Why don't they come to me? That's what friends are for. I'm their resource. I'm your best friend. Why didn't you tell me?" And the reality is, humans don't. And that's something that has to be understood and thought about. And that's why, in the past, it would be, for all their faults, that's a whole other issue, but it would be something like a parish priest or an old-fashioned country doctor would be the person you would go to. I mean, you might get judgment there that you wouldn't expect to get now, but there would be this sort of a source of authority that was not your family and not your friends, and who had a seal of confidentiality. There is no one really quite like that anymore, except the echo chamber of the internet, and that's is a very double-edged sword when it comes to things like self-harm, as we know. It can be used as a sort of show-off place. Are you getting waved at?
We still have time for one or two.
Okay,
I'm curious to know whether you've been watching QI since you left the show.
Well, do you know, I haven't, and not out of any refusal to do so. I'm very fond of everybody involved in it, but I've just not been in Britain. I've not been in the country. I only got back a couple of weeks ago. I'm sure it's been terrific. It's such a splendid thing. doesn't mean me, it doesn't mean boring old me. So, no, nothing I can say about it. I should do, and I guess I should watch it on iPlayer or something, but I haven't had a good chance. My feet have hardly touched the ground.
Just briefly on that same topic, with Sandy Toksvig as the new host, what do you think about the gender imbalance on comedy panel shows?
I try not to think about it. It's probably a terrible thing. Unfortunately, the nature of these comedy panel shows is a certain kind of, I won't say bullying, but a kind of full-on throwing in of wit and response, and is a very male way of talking. So it's a from the very beginning that the setup of it is something in which men in particular thrive, though there are women who thrive fantastically. And we've all seen, I'm sure, on some of these shows, sometimes people of either gender who are not very good at it because they're shy or they're slow to respond in the way that the more confident ones do. And so it can look like a kind of male bullying, whereas in fact it's just, clowns being, the camera light is red, there's an audience, the clown wants to get their laughs, and that's the way it goes. So I've always felt that the strongest thing that can happen is for women, and as we all know, there are brilliant women in that format, but that women should devise their own formats, which they would naturally, it would suit them better, and men would be at a disadvantage. But I hate the fact we have to cover it. It's a shame. But I can understand it looking like a men's club sometimes. I don't know. I'm sure with Sandy it's been much more. I don't know. Don't quote me. I don't want to get suddenly hung up to dry by you saying something unfortunate.
Well, thank you very much.
It's a real pleasure.
It's been an honour.
Thank you.